Hello and welcome to the video. This is a quick overview of some of the latest technology from one of my favourite radio manufacturers right now, and that is RadioMaster. This is the new TX12 Mk2. This is an ELRS radio, and it's hanging off, and everyone always asks this, how does it hang? This new radio hangs beautifully from the neck strap. This is the new RadioMaster neck strap with the padded piece on as well. Now, RadioMaster are one of my favourites because they are continually working with some of the key projects out there. So rather than people who seem to produce express LRS stuff that then have to be revised very quickly, and then they do kind of, replacement policies and stuff. Speaking to the express LRS developers, RadioMaster are one of the few hardware manufacturers that are working closely with them and doing things like sharing their new equipment with them before it's released, to make sure that it's actually fit for purpose before it's put into the market and we as pilots buy it. That's quite a novel way to do it, and although it shouldn't be, it is, and that is why I'm very excited to see that RadioMaster are getting more and more into express LRS. Now this T12 is one of their smaller form factor radios, and you don't realise how small it is until you put it to the side of something like one of the RadioMaster TX16s. This is my Mark II that I have here. This is a very small, lightweight radio. Perfect for smaller hands, but also perfect for travel as well, because not everybody wants a great big whacking radio, and I hear from people all the time that the TX16S is just too physically big. And for those pilots who don't want all that stuff with the colour screen and the touch and all that jazz, this is actually a great option. So let me go through all the pieces that have been released. Those of you that watch YouTube a lot and all the other channels for radio control have probably seen all this already. I was actually on holiday. I actually managed to get out of the country this summer for the first time in 3 years and had a wonderful time. So this is a little bit later. But if you have any questions below on any of the pieces, do pop them down below. Again, I'll put time codes so you can jump to any individual piece that you're interested in. So we'll get on to the new TX12 Mk2 in a minute. Let's go through a lot of the other stuff that has come out at the same time. Looks like RadioMaster certainly haven't been quiet. First one we'll look at are the two new receivers from RadioMaster. Both of these are express LRS and they have 4 pads. The big difference between them is the antenna. The first one we'll look at is called the RP1 Nano Express 2.4 GHz receiver. This is the one that has a 65mm T antenna, which is perfect for mounting. I like to mount these things vertically, similar to the way that I do it Crossfire and other systems. Weight of this thing is minuscule. It's only 2.2 grams. It only runs on 5 volts. It comes with Express LRS version 2.4 installed, and the firmware target is listed on the RadioMaster website. How cool is that? So this is the same target as the sister receiver that I'm about to show you. It's called the RadioMaster RP1/2 2400RX is the target that you want to flash it with Express LRS. In addition to having this one here, the RP1 that has the T antenna, there's also the RP2 Nano Express LRS 2.4 GHz receiver. This has the onboard SMT antenna. This is a design that's been around for a little bit of time. I haven't managed to test this yet, but I'm hopeful the fact that these guys are actually working with a project and getting things tested before they ship them, that this one actually has a much better range than some of the attempts that other manufacturers made using a similar antenna style. This one is 0.55 grams, so it's only, again, 13 by 11 by 7 millimeters with the 4 pads. I love the way that both of these are coming with a little bit of heat shrink to go over the top as well. Nice to have some quality options for receivers, perfect for things like whoops and quads, but also for things like iNav, wings and things like that too. Next thing is something that may not be particularly interesting to you, but I'm excited about this. Comes in lots of different colours and also comes in a long and a short set. These are the new labelled silicon switch cover sets. Now the long ones are 21 millimeters long, the short ones are 11.5 millimeters long. They're available in black, blue, red, white and orange. I've got the red and orange in here. I tend to only put them on the adhere switches. It's just a nice visual reminder and makes it easy to feel with your fingertip when you need to. They are made of rubber and not too flexible, which is perfect if you want to push them over the radio buttons. There's labels on these things, amazingly. So there's 12 pieces in the kit. Some of them are blank, but they're labelled with arm, turtle, buzzer, flight mode, gear, flap, throttle cut, timer, idle, dual rates and trainer. So if you have been looking for these kind of switch covers or switch socks, it's great that we have these options now. They will fit lots of different radios, not just the RadioMaster stuff. Other thing that you may have seen, when I looked at the RadioMaster TX12 Mk2, you'll have noted that there's this little hole drilled in the bottom at the back that has a cover installed. This is what it was for. There are two versions of these buttons available, both red and black, either as a momentary or as a push on and off switch. And there's a little connector for it, and you plug that into a spare connection in the back of the radio. So to install it, you do need to crack the back off the radio, and there's a little rotating nut along with a rubber washer that holds it firmly in place. When it's in place, you can add an extra switch that you can kind of get to with your little finger on the left-hand side, and that could be great. But also, potentially, you could use these in other radios. I did a modification, if you remember, on the back of my old Tyrannus for things like FPV combat. This red one in particular, the momentary switch, would be a great option for that. And that leads me on to the star of this particular release set. This, again, as I said at the beginning, is the TX12 Mk2 ELRS radio. This is the latest version of it. The big changes on this one over the original one is that this has Express LRS support and it's running on HTX. The main board design has been updated from a slower chip to an STM32F407. So as you navigate through the menus, you'll notice that it feels a little bit more responsive as well. They've improved the charging from the USB port. The gimbals feel quite nice. They're quite lightly sprung. I like them a little bit heavier than that. The HTX operating system is already installed. The SD card's in there as well with the sound files on it. So all you have to do is pop in a couple of 18615 batteries. Be careful you put everything in the right way. I do love the fact that it's covered in warning stickers to make sure that you can't do anything dumb, like for example not powering it on without the radio antenna installed. And there's also improved slider grips for S1 and S2, and it's also available in both Mode 1 and Mode 2 versions as well. In terms of the specifications, it's very, very similar to the original TX12. So it's 170 by 159 by 108 millimeters. The weight without the batteries is 363 grams. Then you need to add a couple of 18650 batteries into the back. 128 by 64 monochrome LCD display, and it's just so comfortable for smaller hands, and this is a really great option if you don't want a big bulky TX16S or you don't like the smaller gamer style radio, the Zorro, that they brought out recently. Only a couple of things worth mentioning about this TX12 Mk2. First of all is that the volume is a little bit quiet. I have made sure that I've turned this one up to maximum. This isn't one of those that you're going to hear at the flight line with lots of other people running glow or icy engines near to you. This is definitely one that is a little bit quieter than some of the other radios that I've tried. Also, might be worthwhile putting in a couple of bits of foam into the battery bay. The batteries do go into a little 2 holder for the 18650s, and they can rattle around a little bit as well. Apart from that, the only other thing to comment on is that there aren't any setup wizards in the version of HTX that ship with this. However, they have nicely added a couple of setups for you to clone and copy, one for a plane, one for a quad, and one for a wing. So rather than you delete those, I would recommend you keep those in place, and what you do is you just copy those into a new area in HTX and edit them up for the models that you're using. Now again, links to all of this stuff is down below, but for those of you that stay to the very end, that have watched this even though it's on something that other channels have probably already covered several weeks ago, thanks for hanging around, because guess what? I want to give away this TX12 ELRS radio. If you are interested in getting your hands on this, it's standard stuff. Like, comment and subscribe. This time though, again, there is a special word to make sure that only people who have actually watched the video are going to be involved in the draw. And that special word this time is the word mighty. Make sure that you include the word mighty in your comment to be included for the draw, and I'll do the draw in about a week's time just to give everyone a chance to get involved with the draw. So thank you to RadioMaster for shipping this stuff to me to be able to show you. Again, everything is listed down below if you want to go and have a look, and best of luck to all of you that want to have a go at the draw. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and just include the word mighty. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organised into easy to follow playlists that if you're trying to learn a topic will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.